The IIT network has expanded considerably since the 1960s, and now there are 23 such institutes all over the country. Right now, you and I, we all know that students around the country vie to succeed in the competitive examinations to enter these prestigious institutions. Hello and welcome to the Secretariat. We come to you yet again with another story of India's economic development. This time, we look at world-famous educational institutions of which this country has been justifiably proud. We are talking about the Indian Institutes of Technology. These have churned out science and engineering graduates right since the 1950s, and they have achieved great heights in the global arena. Their alumni are names familiar to all of us. Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Alphabet and Google, Arvind Krishna, the CEO of IBM, Narayana Murthy, co-founder of Infosys, and Vinod Khosla, co-founder of Sun Microsystems. Not to forget Raghuram Rajan, former governor of the Reserve Bank of India. So how were the IITs originally conceived and created? Well, it was a committee set up in 1945, before independence, headed by the politician cum businessman Nalini Ranjan Sarkar, that recommended setting up institutes of higher technology in the country. It was suggested these be modelled on the lines of the American Massachusetts Institute of Technology. These visionary recommendations were supported and pushed forward by the new government led by Jawaharlal Nehru. The first Indian Institute of Technology was quickly inaugurated in Kharagpur in West Bengal in 1951 by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. We must remember that the location was determined by the fact that most engineering industries were in that state at the time. The Indian Institute of Technology Kharagpur Act was passed in 1956, shortly before the first convocation was addressed by Jawaharlal Nehru. 4 more campuses were then established in Bombay, Madras, Kanpur and Delhi, and the Indian Institutes of Technology Act was amended in 1961 to include these new institutions. These original IITs were set up with help from friendly governments. The Soviet Union provided aid for the Bombay IIT, while the US and Germany helped to finance the Kanpur and Madras IITs. And it was the United Kingdom which supported the creation of the Delhi IIT. This was a big help at the time, but the IITs set up later were fully funded by the Indian government itself. The IIT network has expanded considerably since the 1960s, and now there are 23 such institutes all over the country. Right now, you and I, we all know that students around the country vie to succeed in the competitive examinations to enter these prestigious institutions. They continue to be ranked as the top engineering colleges in the country year after year. But only a few of them have broken into the global lists of excellence of such institutions. There has therefore been a demand for the IITs to modify their curriculum to make it more industry relevant and in line with contemporary needs. On the plus side, research and innovation has increased significantly in the IITs. But one of the biggest criticisms against these institutions has been the migration abroad of many graduates. The cost of studying at an IIT may have gone up over the years, but these remain highly subsidized institutions. It is thus a huge loss for a developing country like ours when trained engineers use their skills abroad rather than here. But with the liberalization of the economy, this brain drain did ease up. The percentage of IIT graduates going abroad has fallen from over 70% in the 80s to only about 30% in recent years. The future outlook for the IITs to retain their tag as institutes of excellence will now depend on their ability to alter their curriculum to meet the changing times, especially with the advent of artificial intelligence. Besides, their roles as centers of research needs to be linked with industry so that the country can rely on them to develop advanced technologies. The IITs must not rest on their laurels. We look forward to them becoming global centers of learning in science and engineering. Only then will they continue to be the pride of the country. That's all for today. Join us again next week for yet another dive into the past.